So when you're living a life right now and you're living a life of stress, you can't even sleep at night. You don't remember the last time you got a good full night of rest. You got bags under your eyes. You're falling asleep behind the wheel while you're in your car. You mean tell me you think that's the life that God put you here to live? Whoever is incorporating that type of stress into your life, you cut them off. You get rid of them. God created you to be someone. And he also gave you the wherewithal to know when you have people and entities around you that are going to prevent you from becoming that. Anything that plays games on your health, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, financial health, you have to eliminate those things. See, we talk about health as well because it rhymes and it's a good thing to say, but how many really take it seriously? How seriously do you take the mantra, health is wealth? Because if you're letting people stress you out or you continue to put yourself in stressful situations intentionally, then you don't even understand health as well. You don't value it, you don't live by it, you don't apply it. The mental weight of underachieving and not perceiving the direction you need to go in is heavy. Waking up one day realizing you hadn't accomplished anything you wanted to accomplish, man, that's a heavy load. It's a real heavy load. And it's enough to weigh people down. It's enough to break people. Many people break under the pressure of not having eliminated those things they need to eliminate. Because after a while, you heard the saying, if you can't beat them, join them. After a while of having that negative energy in your life, you're going to join it because you're going to give up on beating it. But the problem is, if you're not going to fight it, if you're not going to be prepared to say, you bring negative energy, you're gone. Oh, this environment is negative, I'm gone. I don't care where you got to go. Go somewhere, get somewhere, leave somewhere, move away from these people, get away from this town, get away from this city, get away from this energy, get away from it all, because God is not going to bless you if you are in an environment that continually stresses you. God is not going to bless you if you continually surround yourself with people who stress you. God is not going to bless you if you continually, intentionally, and willingly do things that stress you. God ain't gonna waste his blessings on nobody who ain't even ready for him. He ain't gonna waste blessings on somebody, man, who not even in a situation to appreciate them, to capitalize on them, to do anything with them. Believe me, there's other people out there who are in a situation where they can receive it and achieve it. You got to keep a clean, spiritually astute environment for God to dwell in your life, brother. I'm telling you. That's why you look at all these things. That's why he tells you to avoid these things. He tells you to avoid things like witches. He tells you to avoid things like warlocks and spiritual, and seekers of familiar spirits, mediums and psychics and all that. He tell you don't worry about what's in the heavens, which means don't worry about astrology. He tell you don't worry about what's in the oceans. Don't worry about what's in the seas. Don't be down. Man, listen, it's some monsters in there. You ain't got to worry about that. What God is trying to keep you from doing is living in fear. Fear, nothing is more stressful than fear. You find me somebody who's afraid, there's nothing that's a heavier load than fear. The only fear that's a positive load, man, is fear of the Lord, because that's the beginning of wisdom. And you must understand, brothers, that you can't live that life. God is not coming in an environment like that. He's trying to eliminate fear. If you never knew what was in the ocean, you wouldn't know about sharks, you wouldn't know about any of that. And you know what we ain't finna do? We ain't finna go swim in the ocean. Put a one in the chat if you going swimming in the ocean. I'm not talking about off the beach, you in the shallow water right there, you can stand up in. I'm talking about going scuba diving. Listen, brother, I'm not going scuba diving. I ain't got no business in the water. Let me tell y'all something right now. I fly because just to do business, I have to fly. But I don't like it. You know why? Because everything that was meant to fly has wings on this body. I'm not going scuba diving, bro. I'm not going in the ocean. Why I ain't going in the ocean? Because everything that's meant to be in the ocean can either breathe in the ocean or hold its breath very long in the ocean. I can't do it. It ain't for me, bro. That's not my zone. And it's the same way when you live in your life. In a very terrible environment, a violent environment, that environment is for people who everybody in that environment does not mind going to jail. They do not mind going to prison. They do not mind going to the graveyard. And I'm not talking about to visit. Well, I don't view life that way. I don't want to do any of those things. Now, if something happens in life and that's just where I have to be, that's a different thing. But I'm not going to be there by choice. That's not my mindset by choice. And this is what we all have to understand. That's why you have to dive so deep into the word of the Most High, man. You have to take a dive into it. It is the key to living a life that's not only pleasing to God, but a life that's pleasing to you. You can't live a good life if you don't live in the word. Because I'm going to be telling you like this. If you rich, but you wake up every day and you got stomach problems, or you wake up every day and you got prostate problems, or you wake up every day and you got high blood pressure, or you wake up every day and you got all these different ailments going on, who cares when all you got to do is eat right and you have to worry about most of those things? Probably not any of them. But that's all you have to do. If you find yourself in a situation where you somebody that got you jammed up, you just around somebody and they're on some foolishness, now you sitting here getting jammed up as well. Why? Because you didn't apply the word to your life. God put you on a mission to be somebody. And the path for you to be that person is to become who God tells us to be in the word. Here's the thing. No matter what your mission is, no matter what your purpose is, no matter what your duty is, the man you're supposed to be, you learn that from the word. Spiritual astuteness is learned from the word. Righteousness is learned from the word. Healthy living is learned from the word. Where to find peace of mind is learned from the word. This is what we're talking about. You can't be where you need to be spiritually if you're where someone wants you to be emotionally. That's why we're supposed to be taught the word from young. We're supposed to teach our children the word from young before they're able to get caught up in living an emotional life. We have to make sure they have a spiritual foundation. Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with living having an emotional connection to someone. But you must first establish a spiritual attachment to God, or that emotional connection with someone will come an emotional attachment to that person. As long as you're spiritually attached to the Most High, you cannot become emotionally attached to a person, because with that spiritual attachment to the Most High is also emotional attachment. You're spiritually attached and emotionally attached to the Most High at the same time. At the same time. So there ain't no room for no attachment. You can't afford to be attached, because if God tell you to go over there and do that, you can't be talking about, well, I got to leave my family. I can't go do that. Oh, no. You can't be struggling with it. God created you for a mission. You decided to have a family, but that doesn't negate you of your responsibilities. Outside of that first year, when you first take a wife, you got a year to cheer her up. You should not be charged with any work. You should not be charged to go to war, because you got to cheer up your new wife. After that, she cheered up. It's time to get back to it. So when you think about it, man, when we live out here and you're walking around, man, let me tell you something. That's why, man, God give you all the keys. When a man's ways pleaseth the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. You know how far above your human existence you have to be spiritually in order for your enemies to suddenly be at peace with you? How can you listen? And I'm telling you, brothers, I'm telling you for a fact, it's the truth. See, a lot of people can tell you, man, that stuff right there. Man, let me tell you something. There ain't nothing I'm gonna ever tell you about the word that I don't have a testimony for you on, man. You understand? I'm talking about, man, listen, man, this cat, man, everybody knew. Man, listen, that was some bad blood, boy. I'm talking about iron got thrown a lot, boy. We were throwing that iron a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about where, if hell, we was in the same place, it was up. Man, I took the vow to Nazarite, went undercover, popped back out. Literally, just started popping up places, man. Just started having to be places. This cat was there. Sometime with his crew. It was just never nothing. It was like I wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying? And for me, brothers, I don't move with fear. I don't move with fear. God has a mission for me and I'm on it. And so I move around the world like I roll with God. I come hard, but I roll with God. I'm destined to be somewhere. And you can only believe that and only view life like that when you're doing what God put you here to do. Otherwise, there's too much turmoil in your life. Turmoil robs you of all the spoils of success, man. You can't have a tumultuous life. You can't have people who want to live a tumultuous life around you. I sympathize with people who live in environments. Man, there are some nice people, some good people who live in project environments, and they got to deal with all that shooting and all that crazy stuff all the time. They don't even want to be there. They were born into it. But those are the people that I help. If you in there and you want to get out and you striving and you going hard, man, those kids that be in that thing, boy, they be making them good grades, man. I be going to talk to their family. You understand me? Them the people right there. I listen. I ain't finna just be feeding nobody no money now. Where every month I give you some money. I ain't finna do that. But that youngster in there who got their mind on, who got their head on right, oh yeah, I'm finna take them under my wing. They gonna be the one to come back and put some paper in your pocket, not me. So I want y'all to understand, man, that you have to eliminate those people that bring stress into your life, man. You have to. Now suddenly the medical profession is being honest about the damaging effects of stress, but we already knew it. We already knew it. We saw what stress does. If we saw a man that was always into it with his old lady, man, he was drinking a lot. If we saw a man that was at home all day, man, couldn't find no job, he was drinking a lot. It's stress, man. It's stress. And you certainly can't have any spiritual stress. You know what spiritual stress is? Somebody trying to tell you what you believe is wrong. Somebody trying to tell you there ain't no God. Somebody trying to tell you that we don't have to live by the Old Testament no more. Somebody trying to tell you ain't got to worry about them laws. We ain't bound by the law no more. Some of the people trying to tell you could do whatever you want to do, just ask for forgiveness. Some of the people trying to tell you something wrong with you. You don't know God. You don't go to church. That's spiritual stress. Those people are attacking you spiritually because they don't have the wherewithal, the gumption, the intestinal fortitude to move the way they need to move in order to make sure they know the Most High for real. I'm talking about know the real God, the true and living God, the God that ain't never died at no point, the God that nobody ain't never did nothing to, the God that nobody can't fade. I'm talking about that one right there. See, here's something, man. Once you understand what God created you for, every time you look in the mirror, you don't just see a man. When I look in the mirror, I don't see BOA. I don't see King Ray Ray. I don't even see Dean. You know who I see? You know what I see when I look in the mirror? The beauty of creativity. I look and see what God has created. I'm looking at my screen right now. I'm looking and I see what God has created. You think anybody can tell me anything about me that's bad? This is the beauty of creativity. God created a one-of-a-kind specimen. It's the beauty of creativity, man. It's the beauty of it. So I would suggest, man, that you start to understand that your eyes are meant to see beauty and not just the beauty of the opposite. No, I mean the beauty. There's so much beauty in the world. Your eyes were given to you so you can see the world.